4 minutes. We'll see.
You see the guy in the gray shirt right there?
Yes.
Shaw team.
Look at that.
Maybe it just said Shaw on the back. You'll be able to see.
Yeah, Shaw. Yeah.
Try to be able to get a number of who that might have been. Here we go with the whole shot. Our pro men underway.
I think that's Zach Shaw from New Zealand.
That's pretty cool. Just name a team after your own name, right?
Yeah.
Oh, see, riders down. I talked about it. It's going to be aggressive and it's going to be tangled. And that's exactly what happened going into turn number 1.
Their race is done before it begun. Wow,
yeah, I mean,
bummer.
now what do you do in this situation? Do you continue on and keep riding, even though you're on it, or you just call it a day?
I would call it a day, but you know what? I'd save the legs. But
it's like in a Formula One race. If you crash in the first corner, you're just done. It's just call it a day.
And this isn't going to affect start call-ups tomorrow. I'd go back and save the legs and hope to regroup.
Yeah, riders with only 4 laps, it's short. You're not going to be able to make up much time or distance. Blevins in that World Championship jersey was the riders that were leading them out right there. They're not really sticking together. I mean, in other words, they're not really connected. Somebody's going to have to slow down a little bit to give a chance for some guys to be able to come back, but very, very fast pace right now.
Blevins is on the front just drilling it, so everyone's trying to, look, get back on. They say that rainbow jersey gives you wings, and so Chris is probably ultimately confident, had a stellar ride, rode everyone off his wheel yesterday. But that looks like one of the Canadian Norco guys. I can't get a number, but that's either one of the DeSera brothers. It could be Orschel. So they got that Canadian Norco team is real strong. So we'll see what they're going to do. I got number 98, Frankie, so I feel like, is that Quentin DeSera or is that Orschel?
That's Peter DeSera.
That's DeSera.
He was up there yesterday in the cross-country race. Actually, it took him a while to get up there. He had started a little bit further back in the group, and then it took him a while, and then he became a factor a little bit later on in the race. So Peter DeSera in the black jersey leading him through as Blevins is sitting in second place, and the rest of the riders looking. Now it's looking a little bit more connected. The gaps are a little bit smaller as they're doing a great job on lap number 1. A little bit of a tangle up there. Riders having to unclip and get back on their bike.
Wow, DeSera's just nailing it right now. And PDD's, hey, I've been picking PDD as my sleeper. He's come to our US Cups out in California. Him and Blevins battled a couple years ago at Vail, so he's legit. So
in all the other races on this portion of the course, we've seen a little bit of a lull. Where Tyler Orschel right there in the black jersey and the white bike coming up on the left-hand side, where they're in a position, like in other words, they're on the front, so they ease up a little bit because they know they have a good position, and it gives a chance for the other riders in the back to be able to get back up. We didn't see that as much that lap, but now we are seeing it. At the bottom part of the climb, it looked like they were going, but see how they spread out 4 across, 5 across? That's an indication that it's just kind of being, hey, we're just going to ride along here. I'm already near the front. I feel like I'm in a good position. If it was stayed strung out and stayed in one line, that would have meant someone's attacking. And, of course, who's going to attack on lap number 1 of a 4-lap race, especially with 25-mile-an-hour winds?
Yeah, you'd be stupid to do it. So I think what you're saying is they just want to be at the front to manage it, but you could see them lift off the gas a little bit there, and that's why you get that big swelling. And
right, you have to recover somewhere. Somewhere you have to be able to recover. And so if you're already in a good position, they ease up, and then it bunches up in the back, and then when it's time to go again, you're on the front and you can just start going again. But you've had that 30 seconds or a minute of being able to take some of that pressure off your legs.
Absolutely, yep. All right, so we got PDD. Is that number? Man, I can't get a read on that in the lead. Another Canadian, though. I do know that much. Blevins comfortably in 3rd. It looks like Orschel 4th.
Yeah, Tyler Orschel with a fantastic ride yesterday, putting himself on the podium in the cross-country race.
Yeah, he came onto my radar last year with the podium, and man, he's just been steadily, riding at the sharp end of the field. So good ride for him. Here they come through.
So in the meantime, that is Quentin DeSera.
That's his brother. I was telling you about the DeSera brother. So
Quentin DeSera with that Canadian national jersey. Carter Woods right there as well.
Wow, look at him.
Then it was Blevins.
Fighting for position there. Oh, that's Finsterwald poking his nose at the front. Good to see Russell up there. Wow, good to see Russell up there for the Specialized Off-Road team. Russell's mixing it up.
He's mixing it up. He had a little bit of difficulty yesterday, but I see what you're saying by mixing it up, doing some gravel of the Sea Otter and the Lifetime races, and now coming here to the mountain bike.
Yeah, he's on that specialized domestic factory off-road team. So Chris is on the World Cup team. So Russ he'll dip in and out of cross country. I think he did the Lifetime event. I think he's probably going to do some other stuff, probably the Whiskey 50 and stuff like that. So Russell's going to go long distance, and he's also going to put his toe in the water here and join us at short track and cross country.
Yeah, this is the opposite of long distance. This is short distance. So yeah, coming off a second at the Sea Otter Classic, Russell Finsterwald. Now Blevins now with the attack. Yep. Who's going to be able to respond? Tyler Orshow is trying to be able to get back up onto the wheel. Finsterwald coming in as well.
Just throwing.
So a nice reaction, and they know you cannot give the guy 5 bike lengths because you're not going to be able to bring him back.
You saw how quick they covered it.
You have to cover it immediately. You have to cover it, and Tyler Orschel is the one that was able to cover it. So that's a great job by him. We talked about him having a third yesterday. Big result for him. For Tyler Orschel to be able to get in there. Rider racing for Canyon Development Racing Team. He also went to Puerto Rico earlier this year. Last year, he was third at his short track nationals and third at his cross country Olympic nationals. Obviously, wearing that Canadian national champion jersey, that's Quentin DeSera. So, right, if Orsha was third, Quentin is one of the riders that won the short track as Blevins continues to be able to push the pace. Using his technique, and that's the skill level that Blevins has that some kind can set him apart from everybody else. He can fly on the downhills. He can carve a turn, and other riders are not as comfortable with that kind of speed.
Yeah, one of the things I think about Chris is he may not be the strongest rider if we put him in a lab, but his efficiency on the technical stuff and able to use the terrain, and that's not to say Chris isn't world class, but he's just so efficient, especially on the technical stuff and the downhills, that it allows him to get just 3 seconds is what I call it. He can just roll away from you on the technical stuff while everyone else is fighting and wasting energy, and he slowly just rides you off on that stuff. But here on this short track, Frankie, there's really not much to get away on. This hill is the major factor. That's going to be a leg breaker. Maybe a little bit in the woods and through those corners. The little flat corners are hard to take, but nothing really much to separate. This isn't technical, and it is by design. So it's meant to keep the racing close and together. And so far, the course is providing great close racing. So
I believe that's Peter DeSera on the
PDD
front right
back
there.
On the front. Hey, that's my buddy Tobin Ortenblad on there. So he's the Santa Cruz rider. I had a conversation with him yesterday, and so he was a little bummed about it. He said just the legs didn't show up. So, Tobin's a cross rider, and I've watched him grow up since a young kid in California. And so, man, it's awesome to see Tobin at the front there on that Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Tobin from Santa Cruz, and also had a great ride. Let's talk about Sea Otter Classic in that gravel, 4th place. Big, tall, strong, powerful rider. So a course like this suits him. There's no really big climbs where he's going to suffer because of his height or his weight. Very good. And right now, he's managed to move himself up into 2nd place, sitting behind Peter DeSera. So it's a good situation for Ortenblad right now, and for Peter DeSera as well, as these riders are getting ready to be able to come back around Talladega Corner and into the start-finish line. They're getting ready to see, I think it's going to be 2 laps to go.
Yeah. It's good.
I don't think anybody changed the lap cards. Oh, wait, they started with 5, right? So with 3 laps to go. So that's correct, 3 laps to go.
We have Peter DeSera, Andrew Ellis-Farns, Tyler Orschel, Christopher Blevins, Russell Fitzgerald, Quentin DeSera.
Andrew Lesprance is in there. That's good. Lespi's up there.
Yeah, big group too. Look at that. That is a big group. It's DeSera, Andrew Lesperance, Tyler Orschel, Christopher Blevins.
Going through the Ozark corner back there, the Ozark Goats corner. Now we're going back to the aerial. This is just great coverage right now. We can see every inch of this course almost. So
Andrew Lesperance is the rider in 3rd with the Maxis with that purple jersey. Torben Ortenblad just in front of him in that white kind of pinkish jersey, and Peter DeSera in that black jersey in front from Norco. Just behind them in that rainbow striped jersey is Christopher Blevins, short track world champion, your winner from yesterday, and he won the short track last year.
Yeah, no, he dominated the first rounds, and what was going on is COVID was going on, so him and a bunch of others basically said, hey, we're going to get this round. We tested our legs. We're going to get into Europe before it locks down possibly and get over there and then camp out and wait for the World Cups to start. So Chris ran round 1 with us, took off. Now with this compact week, he can get in here, grab some UCI points, still have time to go over to Albstadt in a couple weeks.
Look how fast, as fast as it's going, it's connected still.
Yeah.
That line was still connected. I mean, that must have been 30 guys still. I mean, it's wheel to wheel, but it's not like there's some massive gap has opened up. So I don't think they've really thrown down yet. You know, they have not gone all in with the move, and so still waiting to see who will be the first rider to be able to do that and win on this race course. That's going to take place. Tyler Orschel coming up to the front. Tobin Ortenblad sitting in second. I think it's Russell. That's Andrew Lesperance in a third as he goes by.
I think that's Finsterwald.
Finsterwald. Oh, Andrew Lesperance is in fifth in that purple jersey. Finsterwald in the red jersey. So thank you very much.
Yep.
As different riders coming up to the front. We've had different. You know, it hasn't been one rider leading the entire time by any means. It's been very much different riders coming to the front on this race course at different times.
And you know, you got to believe Blevins is like a shark in the water right now, just hanging out. But I don't like him this far back. But he knows what he's doing. He's wearing the rainbow, so I'm not critiquing him. But you got to see Chris that far back. But you know what? It's only halfway. We got 2 laps to go, so you probably got another 8.5 minutes of racing. Maybe Chris is just content to stay back there. I just get nervous. You touch a wheel in one of those corners, you're on the ground. And so
well, you also have to wait for your opportunities to move up. You can't move up, and there he goes right now. Blevins right now starting to be able to move up, trying to be able to get onto the wheel. So he went from about 5th or 6th. I think he's going to end up at about 3rd or 4th. There's certain areas on this race course where you can pass, and there's other areas where you definitely you gotta weigh those consequences, weigh the benefits with the consequences, and so he decided to wait a little bit until he moved up. Russell Finsterwald now on the attack.
Yep. So the Specialized off-road rider showing us, man, he has got some tricks up his sleeve. I mean, he's leading.
Yeah, so see, Blevins moved up into 4th. It just he waited for that open space. He knew that climb was coming up, and he knew he could use his strength to be able to move up at that point, and that's exactly what he did. But still, I'm surprised at how connected and how long this line is of connected riders. If anybody slows down, there's going to be a bunch of guys that are going to swarm to be able to come up to the front. So at some point, we've seen this before. It's like, I don't want to pull. I don't want to pull. Everybody sits up. You could have a big group of 30 before you know it, and it's not in one line. But for right now, doing a great ride as Russell Finsterwald continues to push the pace.
Yeah, no, it's almost like road racing out here or dirt crit. It's tactics become way more important than it is in a cross-country race where it's almost like a time trial. And so, yeah, I don't want to pull. You poke your head out in this wind. I mean, look at those flags. You can tell if you're not here on this mountain, it is cracking right now.
Well, last year in 2021, Russell was 3rd here, and so this will be a big improvement for him. He didn't have the race he wanted yesterday in the cross-country race. Russell Finsterwald, the previous national champion as well, so he knows how to be able to win bike races. They're very good bike races as Finsterwald leads them through.
Yep, and I see
Blevins is in there, Quentin DeSera in that Canadian jersey, Riley Amos is in there as well.
Right,
Lucas Vroenvelder in the Giant jersey. Then you have Tyler Clark, Carter Woods, Carson Beckett, Victory Verald, Cody Cup. See, this is a slowdown, right? This is an opportunity. I mean, fine, it's kind of narrow, but other guys are going to start jamming up into that group, and this is exactly what I was talking about. And they're on the way back. They're on the backstretch. This is the headwind section.
Yep, exactly.
That is the 25-mile-an-hour headwind, and Orschel decided to be able to come around and make sure that he's in a good position. 2 laps to go as the riders came by. It was led by Russell Finsterwald, and now a little bit more of a shakeup as Orschel comes back up to the front.
Man, what great racing. This thing is sticking together. The group's still pretty big. I figured the course and then the wind especially, no one would want to try to even dare take a flyer with 2 to go. It'd be a suicide run, Frankie, so it's actually giving us great racing.
Tyler Orschel, 24 years old, on the front right now. Orschel coming from Uxbridge, Ontario, racing for that Canyon Development Racing team. Coming off a 28th place at the World Championships. I think that's Andrew Lesperance who came to the front right now. Let's try to be able to see if it's that Maxis jersey. And that's Andrew Lesperance coming up to the front. Tyler Orschel in second.
Yep, Lespi's moved up now. So they're all kind of taking a turn to the front here, Frankie. It's interesting. You had Orschel. I mean, the Canadians are just, like you say, Chris is in a Canadian sandwich, basically. He's got Lespi, he's got Orschel, he's got the DeSera brothers behind him. So it's kind of like Chris versus the Canadians right now.
Yeah, and it's a who's who of names. I mean, these are all strong riders.
Oh, we Peter DeSera, Tokyo Olympian, multi-time national champion. I see Amos's blue jersey in there.
Yep,
we got the
Riley
rainbows.
Amos on the left-hand side there,
Yep.
number 2 right there, as he's starting to be able to move up. So
a lot of horsepower.
this is getting competitive, and it's getting a little bit tricky on how they're going to handle it. Look at it on the front, though.
Russ is making it go. Look at.
Here we go, big attack. Who was going to attack first, and when were they going to attack? And this is a big move right now. Blevins has decided to
Come on, Russell.
respond.
Let's go, buddy.
So Christoph Blevins
right.
now all in on this uphill. A glance over his shoulder, seeing nobody can come after him.
Wow.
Blevins decided to be able to go right around him, trying to be able to go on the inside. The door almost shut. Was that a mistake by Russell Finsterwald to not shut down that door? But now he's got to be able to get on the wheel of Christopher Blevins. These two now have decided to rocket away, and when they come around, it's going to be 1 lap to go.
You got to ask yourself, they're both on S-Works, they're both specialized riders. Did they plan this? Did they maybe say, hey, you go, I'll bridge up, then when we get the gap, let's work together? I mean, they are, teammates in some ways and good friends, and I feel like they might have planned this. I mean, look at this, and then this is where they're going to go with maybe a lap and a quarter to go and see if they can work together, although Chris has got to ease up a little bit if he wants Russell to take a pull. A lot of horsepower, a lot of wattage putting down, but look at that. They've got a gap. Man, what a great tactic. Let's see if they can hold it, but now look, Chris is sitting up a little bit.
Yeah, pretty good gap. 2 riders from the same team, Specialized Factory Racing Team, working together very well. And I bet you on that one corner, Blevins was yelling at him, I'm on the inside. And so Russell allowing that gap to be able to open up to allow his teammate to be able to come through. And so right now, Blevins is leading him through, coming through, and it's going to be bell lap. It's the final lap, 1 lap to go. Quentin DeSera leading him through right behind there. It's a little bit of a gap with Quentin DeSera's Andrew Lesperance, and then 1 second back is Tyler Orschel and Peter DeSera, then Lucas Vroenvelder, and then Carson Beckett. Wait, is that right? Is it Carson Beckett? That's a great ride,
wow. Carson
Beckett. That is a fantastic ride by him. If he can stay there, even practically move up, then a bunch of other riders coming through to round out the top 20. Looking back at our leaders, though, right here, the 2 Specialized riders are flying on the backstretch of this race course. Blevins won the short track last year. Now, 2 riders, you might know how this is going to work out. Half a lap to go. 2 riders from the same team with Specialized. Blevins won yesterday. Blevins won last year the short track and the cross country. Russell Finsterwald looking for a win. Do you make a deal like that, or is it just all in to be able to see how this plays out?
You would know better than me. I hear they make
No, what do you mean I know better than you?
Well, I hear they make deals on the road, right, for overall. But I think in mountain biking, it's every man for themselves, and I think Chris wants to win in that rainbow jersey. He didn't have that great of a short track in Brazil when he donned it. This could be his first time to win in rainbow stripes. I say at some point he gets rid of Russell here.
Better get some photographers over at that finish line to be able to make sure you got some good photos of that, because it's going to be a well-deserving win if he can pull it off.
They worked everyone
Finsterwald just bending down. Look at him. He's like just trying to stay in that draft and staying on the wheel, but these 2 guys are doing a fantastic job. Finsterwald looking very, very good. And you have to remember, Finsterwald is the one that started the attack.
Absolutely.
He went first and actually got a pretty big gap on everybody else, and it was Blevins that immediately went. And it's a little bit surprising. I mean, obviously, when Blevins goes, it's not that easy to follow his wheel.
No.
But at the same time, if Blevin goes, you need to go.
You got to go.
There's no surprise there, the strength that this guy has, and you have to be able to pay attention like that. And the gap's starting to get bigger. It was only 2-3 seconds coming through the start-finish line. It has opened up now.
If I'm looking at body language, Chris looks comfortable looking over. Look at Russ. He's got to get out to hold that. You got to get out of the saddle to hold the wheel. I feel at some point Chris is just going to light the match and go. Because what did I just say? Look at.
Yeah, Russell Finsterwald starting to be able to crack a little bit, so that's a big problem, because I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to second place. He's just buried himself, and now burying himself, but in the lead. And of course, it's always more motivation when you have a big gap. A glance over the shoulder, it's Quentin DeSera trying to be able to come after him. Can Quentin DeSera, the short track Canadian national champion, bring back the world champion?
Yeah, no, it's just like I thought. Chris looked comfortable, and as soon as he lit the wick, he was going to be gone, and now he's just going to ride this thing. And I could just tell by the body language, Russell was suffering to stay on, and Chris was like, just kind of like, hey, let's work together a little bit, and then I'm going to just light the match the last,
Right now, looks like about a 3-second gap, and I think a 3-second gap is going to be enough.
Yep. But
what a ride by Quentin DeSera, responding and has been chasing. Honestly, he's been on the front for the entire last lap. He hasn't even swung off. He hasn't looked for any kind of help. Quentin DeSera just trying to be able to bring back the world champion all by himself. Riley Amos trying to be able to hang on the wheel of the Canadian short track national champion, but in the meantime, it is Christopher Blevins, the 24-year-old, the world champion in short track, following up with a huge win after a win yesterday, getting ready to be able to come around Talladega
the
corner.
Rainbow Jersey win this thing, Frankie.
He is going to come around. A special day.
Wow, world champion.
Your short track winner, world champion, Christopher Blevins from Specialized Factory Racing, winning the Moosejaw US Pro Cup. Second, Quentin DeSera, Riley Amos from Trek Factory Racing in third. That's 1, 2, and 3. 2 more spots for the podium.
Yeah, wow, that was fireworks, man. What a top 3 All-Americans. I mean, wow, that's special.
Peter DeSera then coming in. Andrew LaSperance with his Maxxis jersey coming across as well. Lucas Vroenwelder from Giant. Tyler Orshell falling back a little bit. Canyon Development Racing Team, that'll be 7th. Carson Beckett, Dirt Camp Racing. Then there's Carter Woods. Russell Finsterwald just coming across now. Finsterwald, man, he went for it. Had a chance to be able to get first or second. Ended up finishing 10th, but like the gusto, like the attitude of trying to be able to go for the win and go for the victory. And that's exactly what he did as the rest of the riders all coming across. So Blevins getting a little bit of a drink of water, not looking very tired, but he had to plan that attack pretty well. He sensed who was coming up behind him. He knew who was kind of getting a little bit closer, and definitely did not want to take that chance of getting wrapped up. It's always easier to win by yourself than to win from a group, and that's exactly what Christopher Blevins did. So congratulations, as our short track for our elite men are wrapping up. A few more riders coming in as they come across the line. Coming across the line right there, that was